Do you know Jesus? Does he live in your heart? Amen. If you will, we're going straight to the word. Thank God for all of our officers, to my assistants in the pulpit, Dr. Blunt and Reverend Thornton. Thank God for my beautiful wife in the congregation. Amen. Amen. She's off today. Amen. And normally she brings my grandson, but Shorty was like, I'm coming by myself today. Amen. So thank God that she's here. Amen. Don't have to work today. Amen. All right. I want you to go to the book of Exodus. I want you to go to the 12th chapter. Exodus 12. Bless you, Naila. Bless you. 12th chapter. Once you get there, I want you to drop your finger down on the 5th verse, and we're going to read verses 5 through 7. Then we're going to jump down to verses 12 through 13. Amen? Amen. Not hard to find. You have Genesis and then Exodus. Make it to the 12th chapter. Amen? You don't even need your index for that. You can go straight on Genesis, Exodus. Amen. All right, starting at the 5th verse. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. They shall take of the blood and strike it on the side posts and on the upper door post of the houses wherein they shall eat. Jumping down to the 12th and 13th verses. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And now, Lord, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and redeemer. And all God's people said, amen, amen, amen. You may be seated in the house. Hallelujah. Thank you, minister of music. Thank you, choir. Thank you, percussionists. I want to use for a subject today. I thought that was a little usher right there. Yeah, that's good. I want to use for the subject today, apply the blood on it. Apply the blood on it. The story is about the Hebrews, Israelites, being delivered out of the slave bondage of Egypt. They had been in bondage for approximately 400 years. They had cried out to God through much prayer. God heard their cry. He allowed a man named Moses to be born. Moses was a Hebrew, but rose grew up in the house of Pharaoh. So Moses becomes an adult. Moses is kicked out of Pharaoh's house because he murdered another Egyptian. He's on the run. Moses finds himself in the desert of Mount Sinai, where one day he looks up and sees a burning bush. He goes to inspect the bush that was burning but not being consumed. Once he gets up there, he hears the voice of God. God tells him to take his shoes off because he's standing on holy ground. God tells Moses, I want you to be the deliverer of my people. I want to use you. Moses makes excuses, but God says, I'm going to use you. If any of you ever made excuses and God said, I'm still going to use you. God promises Moses that he would show his power and convince Pharaoh to let the Hebrews go, and at the same time convince the Hebrews to follow his directions. God told Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. He said, I'm going to allow your brother Aaron to be with you to accomplish this mission. You're going to set my people free from their bondage. God told Moses, go on and let Pharaoh know. Let my people go. The scripture shows us that every time Moses went to Pharaoh, Pharaoh decided he would not obey the voice of the Lord. The scriptures let us know the reason Pharaoh didn't do this is because God had hardened Pharaoh's heart. He wanted Pharaoh to see how powerful he really is. And he wanted his people to know who he really is. See, you can be around the people of God and still not know who God is. And sometimes God has to show you through signs and wonder who he really is. So Pharaoh strongly rebuked Moses every time he came. Let my people go. Pharaoh said no. The Egyptians had idol gods, and they thought that their idol gods were powerful. They thought that their gods could stand up to our God, Jehovah God, Yahweh. They thought that their gods were just as powerful as the God of the Hebrews. The Egyptians had many idol gods. That's the fault. They had idol gods. They had gods that really couldn't hear. Gods that really could not see. Their gods did not have thinking power. And the Egyptians thought that their gods could stand against the true and living God. How many of you know that God has all power? And a God like that, I'd rather have him on my side than have him against me. I remember, this is Veterans Day, I remember in the military seeing some of the damage that our fire and air can do, our Apache helicopters. They have some strong firepower on that little helicopter. Them things go up, and the round rounds that they put out on armored vehicles is powerful. It makes a sound. You see the damage that they do is destructive. I remember the first time I saw it, I looked at some of my soldiers, I'm glad they were on the outside. The God that we serve is like that. I'm glad he's on our side. That no matter what comes against you, we got a God that's all powerful. That he's so strong, he's so powerful that no matter what comes against you, he's able to stand up and nothing can come against him. He's an all-powerful God. So God, he drops 10 plagues to convince Pharaoh to let his people go. Pharaoh, you're going to let my people go one way or another. So the first plague I'm going to drop on you is I'm going to turn your water into blood. Moses, take your rod, dip it in the Nile, and the Nile is going to turn to blood, which means that they won't have water to drink, and everything that's in the water will die. I don't know about you, but blood brings life, but at the same time, blood without water brings death. Then he drops on the frogs. He plagues them so much with frogs that frogs are everywhere. When they open up the stoves, frogs jump out. When they pull back the sheets, frogs are in the bed. When they go to the bathroom, frogs are in the bathroom. Frogs are everywhere. Can you imagine you trying to get a good night's sleep and frogs just everywhere? Leaping all over you? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine it? Some of us know about bugs, but none of us know about frogs. Then he dropped, I know what I'm talking about. He drops a third plague on him. The third plague is with gnats and lice. He tells Aaron, touch the dirt, and the dust's going to turn to lice and gnats. Right after you come out of a plague of frogs, now you're dealing with lice and gnats. They're on your animals. They're on you. And you can't get rid of them. Then right after that, he hits him with the fourth plague. He hits him with flies. Flies everywhere. Flies are a nuisance. And we can't even imagine this plague of flies. We've seen flies. We've walked through places where flies were. But we can't imagine this plague of flies. They are everywhere. In everything. Then God says, with a fifth plague, I'm going to affect your livestock. The livestock start getting sick. The sheep, the donkeys, the lambs, the goats, the cows, everything that's livestock is getting sick. God still says to Pharaoh, let my people go through the mouth of Aaron and Moses. And Pharaoh says, no. Then he comes back a sixth time. And he says, take some ashes and throw it in the air. And it's going to make boils on the people and the animals. Every animal, they're already dying. They're already sick. And it seemed like Pharaoh would have got the message because none of God's people's livestock, none of God's people are getting sick or getting any of the plagues that are on the land of Egypt. So now they're sores all over their bodies, all over their animals. Moses comes back again, let my people go. Pharaoh says no. God says, okay, I'm going to let hail fall from the sky. This hail is going to be so destructive that it's going to hit the land, and it's going to turn to fire when it hits the land. You all praying? Then God comes back again through Moses and Aaron, let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no! I'm not going to do it. Then God says, I'm going to send a plague of locusts. Everything that was remaining, I'm going to let the locusts eat it up. Let my people go. Pharaoh says no. And God said, okay, I'm going to attack Egypt with darkness. Just Egypt. With darkness so thick that you can feel it. That's the word. That the darkness was so thick that it could be felt. That's dark. 3 days of darkness. Any of you ever felt like you've been in 3 days of darkness? Only God can get you out of that. And then finally, God tells Moses to tell Pharaoh one more time, let my people go. We have the 10th plague. This is where our scripture takes place. He says, if you don't let them go, the firstborn of everything is going to die. The scripture says, your land shall be without blemish. Get a lamb, Moses. Tell the people, get a lamb. And let it be a male lamb. And when you see this male lamb, I want it to hang around for a while, then I want you to kill it. And when you kill it, I want you to take some hyssop. And I want you to put it on the doorpost above and on each side of the door. Anybody that's living in a tent, do the same thing. Put it above and on each side of the door. Because when I pass through where I see the blood, I won't allow death to hurt them. But if I don't see the blood, everything that's not covered under the blood is going to die. Moses instructs the people, and they go out, and they start putting the blood on everything. Blood on the doors of God's people. Notice the blood was not put on the threshold, because the blood was not to be trampled over. But the blood was put on the doorpost, above and beside. You remember that, because we're going to go somewhere with that. Blood is the red liquid that circulates in the arteries and veins of humans and other vertebrate animals, carrying oxygen to and carbon dioxide from the tissues of the body. There's life in the blood. Lifeblood is the blood as being necessary to life. It is the indispensable factor of influence that gives something its strength and vitality. In the text, there is blood from the Lamb. The Lamb was killed that others might live. The Lamb was slain that others might live. Then he told them, when the death angel is passing over, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down with bitter herbs. And I want you to eat the lamb. Don't leave none of it. And while you're eating, I want you to be fully dressed. Have on your sandals. Have on your clothes. And if you got a staff, have the staff with it. Because you're going to be leaving in haste. So I need you fully dressed when the lamb is on the table and when the blood is on the door. I need you fully dressed. And so here it goes. The death angel comes through. The angel that brings pain. The angel that brings hurt. And there's a cry in Egypt unlike that has ever been heard before. And the Bible says that ever will be heard again. There's a cry because everyone that is firstborn, every animal that is firstborn was died. Specifically the firstborn. The Bible lets us know that just about every house in Egypt was affected some kind of way. But those that had the blood were not affected. They left Egypt. When the plague had left, when the death angel had ended, the Egyptians came and Pharaoh said, "Get out of here. Take your stuff and get out." Not only did they take their stuff and get out, but the Egyptians said, "And take some of our stuff with you." In other words, God said they're going to compensate you for the 400 years that they had you in slavery. I'm going to let them compensate you as you make your way out. They compensated. Now, here they are, leaving out of Egypt, going into the land of Canaan, the promised land. You know the story. It took them 40 years to get there. Well, I want to relate that to the Lamb of God. Jesus Christ is the Lamb of God. He knew about our sin-sick condition. He knew that we were in bondage, and some of us are still in bondage. But Jesus said, "If you put my blood on it, I will set you free." And some of you are in bondage right now. Whatever is holding you bondage, I want you to know that Jesus died on the cross for you, that you might be set free. He is the Lamb of God. And all you got to do is put the blood on it. Apply the blood on it. If you apply the blood on your situation, I guarantee you'll be set free. Anybody ever apply blood on it? Anybody ever put Jesus on it? How about your marriage? Did you put Jesus on it? When it was all about it, you put Jesus on it. And Jesus held it together. How about the sickness that was in your body? Did you put Jesus on it? The doctor said you wouldn't be here, but here right now because you put the blood of Jesus on it. All you got to do is apply the blood to your situation. I'm wondering right now, who needs the blood applied to something in your life? That thing that's holding you bondage. The thing that's keeping you in a place that you don't want to be. That thing that you keep praying about. That thing that seems to be wearing you out. I dare you to keep calling on the name of Jesus. They called Jesus for 400 years. They called God for 400 years. But he showed up. He may not come when you want him, but I guarantee you he'll be right on time at the right time. And what God will do is he'll take the thing that's plaguing you and bring it some plagues. The thing that's plaguing you will be plagued because it plagued you. The thing that tried to hurt you will be hurt because it tried to hurt you. Let me tell you something. When you put the blood on it, you allow the blood to fight the battle. Because if you try to fight the battle, you're going to lose because you do not have the tools to fight it yourself. But when you apply the blood on it, nothing Jesus fix it. The problem with some of us is that we're sitting at this Passover table eating bitter herbs, but you don't have yourself fully dressed. You're sitting there dealing with the bitterness, but you're not fully dressed. So when God says come out, you can't even get out because you're still trying to get yourself together when you should already be together and ready to come out. Let me break it down to you. You keep trying to put yourself in something that God told you to come out of. You refuse to let God take all of it. You can have this much, God, but I won't give you all of it. You can have this much of me, God, but I'm not going to give you all of it. Because, God, I still like to do such and such. And everybody's such and such is different. Should I name some such and suches? Should I call out some such and suches? No, I'm going to leave you alone on that. You can't handle it. But whatever your such and such is, some of you say, woo! Woo! Because he might have called mine. I'm going to leave it alone because the Spirit didn't tell me to do it. I just was messing with you. Some of you right now, woo! Let the church say, woo! Put the blood on it. Let it go. Get yourself dressed in the full armor of God. All of it. Not part of it. Don't just have on your helmet of salvation and you don't have your breastplate of righteousness. A lot of people want salvation but don't want righteousness. Put all of it on. Don't have your helmet of salvation and not have your shield of faith. You got to have a little bit of faith, at least the size of a mustard seed, to believe that God is going to get you out of your bondage. Don't just have the helmet of salvation on. And notice I keep saying the helmet of salvation because if you are a child of God, you ought to have at least the helmet of salvation on. Because if you don't have that on, you're not even saved. You're fooling yourself. You sitting naked at the table. You at the stove cooking naked. Some of y'all can't handle that. You in the refrigerator naked. Nobody said, what? That's the same thing I said, Mike. What? Same thing I said, little Mike. What? You got the helmet of salvation on, but you are stripped from everything else. Please have your shoes on with the preparation of the gospel of peace. At least have your helmet and shoes on. You got to have your girdle on, your leather girdle to gird yourself up so you can run when it's time to run. So it said, eat all the lamb and be fully dressed. But when we take communion, we say, eat all of it. Jesus was at the table and said, take and eat. This is my body. He took the bread. This is my body, which is broken for you. Then he took the cup, the wine. He said, this is my blood of the New Testament. Take and drink it all. Take all of Jesus. Eat all of it. All of it. All of it. Apply him to everything. See, too many of us depend on what we have. Your bank account got a little bit of something in it. You got $5,000, $10,000 or so. This is just something. It can be gone in and out. My sister said a half hour in a minute. And with this technology that people have today, identity theft can take it in a matter of a few seconds. It can be gone. You can't put your trust in that. You can have a nice house on the hill. Don't put your trust in your house. Because you can leave something on. A hot curler, an iron, a pot. And you can come home and everything is gone. You can have a gas leak suddenly and everything is gone. Don't put your trust in your vehicle. Lord knows it's not a vehicle. I don't care how good it looks, that thing can be stolen or torn to pieces. You can get in an accident and total. And hopefully you got enough to cover it in your insurance so that after it's total, you're still not paying for something that's been totaled. Hopefully. Don't ever put your trust in stuff. Give your stuff to the Lord. Let the Lord keep your stuff. But put yourself in the hands of the Lord and let him keep you. Because if he keeps you, if you lose your stuff, he's able to give you power to get wealth and get more than what you lost. Where you at, Joe? Yeah, I know about that. I lost everything. I lost everything. I lost everything. I was serving God with all my might, with all my heart. I was serving God, and all of a sudden, everything broke loose on me. I lost my children. I lost my livestock. I lost my servant. I lost my health. Even lost my wife, her crazy self. Not my wife. Lost everything but God. He sat in the ashes and scraped himself and prayed. And he kept on praying. And he kept on praying. And then God healed him and gave him double for everything that he lost. He even gave him 10 children back. Only God can give it back the same way he lost it. 7 boys, 3 girls. Only God can give you 7 boys and 3 girls right back. Only God can do that. God is able to give you everything and keep everything that belongs to you if you just give it to him. Apply the blood on it. On the right side of it, on the left side of it, and above it. Put the blood on them. Put the blood on your children when they're not acting right. Put the blood on your spouse when they're not acting right. Put your blood on the bill collector when they're trying to get more than they're supposed to get. Put the blood on your boss when they're not doing like they're supposed to do. Put the blood on your friends when they're backbiting and coming against you. Put the blood on everything. Supply the blood too. I remember some years ago we had a storm rip through Maryland. It was a real bad storm. And it was during the summertime, and you know how we have our little umbrellas and stuff out in the yard. I was like, oh, I ain't gonna be able to go out there. I know it's gonna be tore up tomorrow. And the Lord spoke to me and said, you will not suffer any loss. I said, okay, Lord, I sleep. Got up the next day, went outside. Everything was in place. Only the Lord. Some people don't believe that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to tell you what I know. If you just give it all to the Lord. You want a job, give it to the Lord and trust Him. You want a spouse, give it to the Lord and trust Him. You want a baby, give it to the Lord and trust Him. You want something out of your life? Give it to the Lord and trust Him. And when God wants to deliver you from the bondage, please stop trying to go back into the thing that He has delivered you from. He went to great lengths to come from heaven, be born as a man through a virgin, live for 30 years, begin a ministry at the 30th year. A ministry that turned the world upside down in 3 years. Died on the cross for us. So we can have the right to be called the sons and daughters of God. And then 3 days later, get up with all power in His hands, in heaven and earth. And you want to apply the blood to it? The maker of heaven and earth? You won't give it to Him when He says, I've torn the curtain, I've rent the curtain that separated you from the holies of holies. I will remove the priest because Jesus said, I am now your high priest. I am your lamb. I am the goat. I am your high priest. I've torn the curtain and you can enter boldly to the Holy of Holies. You don't have to be ashamed to come to me. I don't care what you did. Come to me. I don't care if you did it in an hour from the time you did it. Come to me. That's what the Lord is saying. Come to me so that you don't separate yourself too long from me. Because when we're doing what we're doing, God is still there, but we're separated even though He's still there. But the moment you finish doing what you're doing that you should have been doing that you were doing, come directly to Him and ask Him for help. To keep you from doing what you were doing that you should have been doing, so that you'll get some strength to try not to do it again. Should I call out what you were doing? No, I'm not going to do it. When God give me these type of sermons, I hate even look in some people's faces because they just get sucked up. Who told him? Did he see it? Did he see it? People stop reading their Bible and stuff. Nobody knows what you were doing but the Lord you. Apply the blood on them. Can you say, I will apply the blood of Jesus on my situation? I will not die in this mess, but I will be delivered out of the hands of the things that are keeping me in bondage. I'm going to walk out and be compensated for what had me held in bondage. I'm going to rejoice in the Lord because He has delivered me and set me free. Standing all over the church. Apply the blood on it. Talk to Jesus, because He already did it for you. Pharaoh won't come after you. After he lets you go, he gonna come after you. After you've been set free, the thing that had you in bondage is going to come back in full force to try and bring you back to where you were delivered from. Call on the Lord. Call Him. Call Him with everything you got. And God will allow you to pass through where you thought there was no hope. You'll find yourself passing on some dry land through a sea. And the thing that's coming after you will get drowned in the same place that you passed through free. If you don't know the Lord as your personal Savior, care how long you've been in church, you need to come on and give your life to Christ. If you just give your life to Him, He's able to deliver you. Some people will say, I'm going to get to heaven regardless. No, my brother, sister, if you don't have Jesus, you're not getting in. Let me break it down to you. We all need redemption from sin. We were born in it, shaped in it, and we can never do anything on our own to satisfy a pure and righteous, holy God. Because we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. When we come to an age of understanding, God holds us accountable. And it's better to know Jesus. Have Him in your heart. And leave here knowing that you've been covered all around in the blood. That Jesus suffered for you. But if you don't have it, I don't care how good you were, how good you are, how nice you are, you don't have any covering for your sin. You don't have any redemption from your sin. You're still in the bondage. Even if you're not a bad person, you're in the bondage of sin born. But when you give it to Jesus, He somehow takes all of our unrighteousness and washes us in His blood. Cleans us up. So when we're presented before the Father, He sees His Son and not us. He sees us covered in the blood of Jesus. If you don't know Him as your Savior, come on and get covered by Jesus' blood. Because he's alive at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us. When you mess up, you know you're still covered. And if you really know him, he's not going to let you die until you get some stuff straight. When you really know him. Maybe you need a church home. And God is saying, this is the place for you. Come on, make this your house of worship. Will you come? Will you come?